We're here to talk about getting rich, which many aim for but few achieve. Being aware of real prosperity is something only a few people achieve. Prosperity is like a tripod with 3 legs: health, wealth, and family. If you have money, you might think that's all you need. Imagine having a lot of money while you're in the final stages of cancer. You'd likely give all your money to be healthy again, right? Without health, money is pointless. But what if you have money and health but no one to share them with? That would feel incomplete, wouldn't it? Life wouldn't feel complete. So remember this: prosperity is a mix of health, wealth, and family. That's what true prosperity is. Let's do an exercise. Comment this: prosperity is money, health, and family. Once I see that comment, I'll give it a heart. Now, let's talk about money. What is financial success? Financial success is when you can buy what you want and do what you enjoy without worrying about money. If you're doing things you don't like because of money or stopping actions you like due to a lack of money, you haven't reached financial success or independence yet. There are 4 financial levels. The first level is survival. You're just getting by spending everything you earn, or worse, spending more than you earn and getting into debt. This is a terrible place to be, right? That means you're spending more than you earn. Level 2 is breaking even. With nothing left over, you spend what you earn. Level 3 entails saving, but not using your savings wisely. You save more than you spend, but you don't know how to make that extra money work for you, so you're losing money to inflation. Finally, level 4 is financial freedom, where you earn more than you spend and make the extra money work for you, achieving financial independence, which only 5% of the world's population reaches. Make money work for you by becoming aware of it instead of working hard for it. Prosperity awareness enables you to live comfortably in this world, with or without money. It's easier to live with money than without it, but some people live well without much money. However, that's not the path we're choosing. We're choosing the path of prosperity, where you learn to make wealth. To do that, you need to understand the wheel of abundance. Your life's prosperity depends on how quickly the wheel of abundance spins. You might wonder why it doesn't spin faster in your life. It might be blocked by emotional issues. You might think money is dirty, that rich people don't go to heaven, or that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Another reason could be ignoring the laws of wealth: earn, spend, save, and invest. These universal laws work anywhere and should be taught from childhood. Most people live their entire lives without learning it. That's why we're talking about it today. We want a different direction for our lives, right? Financial math is crucial. It's important to learn to deal with numbers. There's a common problem called number fear, where people don't like dealing with numbers. If you don't like numbers, you'll hardly become a millionaire, because being a millionaire requires dealing with numbers. We're going to show you how to remove these emotional blocks. Imagine this situation: you're 6 years old, having dinner with your parents, and your father says, "I'd rather you be poor but honest than rich and dishonest." It's better to be poor and honest, because the rich and dishonest won't enter heaven. At 6, you wouldn't argue with your father. You'd just absorb what you hear, and it would become part of your thinking. Now, this becomes part of your reality, and you believe it to be the absolute truth. Time will pass, 20 to 30 years later, and you will start making a lot of money. You know what will happen. You'll sabotage yourself. Nobody wants to be seen as dishonest. So if you think making money makes you dishonest, you'll find a way to lose that money in order to stay honest. Some people carry this belief with them their whole lives. The beliefs keep themselves going by reinforcing themselves. You will produce what you believe, and this reinforces your belief. Some people live their whole lives this way. So, it's important to understand this wheel of abundance, and that it can be blocked like a handbrake by your emotional issues. For example, at 6 years old, you're at an important place wearing your best clothes. And when you arrive, there's someone dressed in a suit and tie with a microphone saying, "It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven." After this person finishes their speech, you go home with that message in your subconscious. At home, you turn on the TV and see a big camel. Then you open a drawer and see a tiny needle. You think it's impossible for a camel to go through this needle's eye. I'd rather be poor than go to heaven, because it's like that. Years will pass and you'll forget about it, just as the preacher forgot to mention that many years ago, Jerusalem had gates that closed at 6 in the evening. Any camel or caravan arriving after that time couldn't pass through the gates. The only way to enter the city was through a small gate called the Needle, where camels had to kneel and be unloaded. Otherwise, they couldn't pass. The symbolism is that to enter heaven, you need to enter humbly and without your material burdens. You can't take material goods to heaven. In your coffin, there won't be drawers for your belongings. Everything you have in this life, you don't actually own, you're just managing it. When you leave this life, you won't take material possessions, only your experiences. But that doesn't mean having material possessions will keep you out of heaven. Money is a tool that can even help your spirituality. For example, a rope is a rope. It can be used to harm someone or to save someone from drowning. The rope itself is neither beneficial nor bad. A knife is just a knife. It can be used to spread butter on bread or to harm someone. So, the knife itself is neither beneficial nor bad. Money is also the same. It is a tool that, when used correctly, can help your spirituality. So it's important to understand that there's nothing wrong with making money. You just need to know how to use it right, without greed or selfishness. However, understand that you won't take anything with you either. You need to make money work for you and others. Let's delve deeper into the components of this wheel of abundance. It has two parts, giving and receiving. You can't turn a wheel with only one half. Agree? Some people have a problem giving, they are very selfish. And that's not the profile I approve of. Some people have trouble receiving, they are too proud. We can't be like that either. Others have difficulty giving and receiving, which is the most extreme level. There is only a small minority that can do both things. Giving and receiving are essential to increasing your wealth and spinning the wheel of abundance faster. Gardeners trim plants in order to grow them. Look how fascinating it is. When you're trimming, you're helping growth. Do you see how amazing that is? When you're trimming, you're making it grow. So when you're giving, it's like trimming the money tree. Giving can be a donation in the form of generosity or charity. When you do good for someone in need, you're being charitable. When you give to someone who doesn't need it, you're being generous. If you give a friend a birthday gift and they can afford to buy it themselves, you're not being charitable, you're being generous. The recommendation is to practice both virtues. It's important to practice both charity and generosity. If you only practice charity, you're sending the message to your subconscious in the world, only those in need win. So if I want to gain something, I have to be in need. Donating to the needy shows generosity, and you'll get it. So my recommendation is that you practice both charity and generosity. Now, pay attention. There are 4 important actions to take on the wheel of abundance: declare, request, risk, and thank. The action to declare emphasizes the importance of serving before having. Many people think that if they had money, they would do what rich people do. Be careful with that. Know how to manage your money, or you'll run out soon. Here's something scary. Over 90% of lottery winners are financially worse off 10 years later, because before winning they didn't have the right mindset and ended up spending everything. When they realized it, they had spent all they had and even more. You need to be, do, and then have. We create reality through declarations. In the legal realm, a declaration can determine reality. For example, when a couple says yes to each other, the judge declares them married. When they want to split, the judge can declare divorce. By judging your own life, you can make statements about yourself. If you declare that you are prosperous, you start acting in ways that match prosperity and consequently achieve prosperity. Therefore, do not underestimate the power of the action to declare and make your declarations in the areas you deem necessary. Also, it's important to make a request. Requesting gives you power, but shy people often face difficulties in life because they don't know how to request. As the saying goes, those who don't ask don't get. Without asking, the universe cannot fulfill your needs. You have to ask God for what you want. Third, you have to learn to take risks. Without risk, you will hardly be prosperous. There's no way to get rich. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a Swiss psychologist who lived in the United States, dedicated part of her life to teaching people about death. In a 10-day course, she provided a learning experience about preparing for death. On the last day, she gave a test to see if participants were truly ready to face death. Everyone responded similarly to a specific question. If they had to live their lives again, would they take more risks? This realization emphasizes the importance of taking calculated risks in life. When you, who are listening, reach 90 or 95 years old, if someone asks you what you would do if you lived your life again, you will also respond the same way. Understand that taking more risks doesn't mean doing crazy things, but rather taking calculated risks. Here's a wonderful example. A trapeze artist in the circus faces a crucial moment. When they release one trapeze to grab another, they check for its arrival. In this gap, moving from one to the other, they go through a moment of vulnerability. Some people spend their whole lives avoiding this vulnerability, seeking a false sense of security that doesn't exist. Life is full of opportunities, not security. Therefore, you need to take more risks in your life. Because gratitude is the mother of all virtues, being thankful is essential. Many people spend most of their time lamenting losses or wishes. Rarely do you find someone saying they would like to have something and already have it, or that they wouldn't want something and don't have it. The practice of gratitude is fundamental. To attract more of what you want, thank God for what you have. In life, gratitude acts as feedback, so you need to practice being thankful more. Declaring, asking, risking, and thanking make it easier to make your wheel of abundance spin faster. These actions are powerful tools to shape reality and attract more prosperity into your life. We are here discussing scientific, philosophical, and psychological aspects of prosperity. Let me remind you what science is. Science studies the cause and effect of natural phenomena. By investigating cause and effect, we are doing scientific research. Philosophy, in turn, is the study of thoughts, while psychology studies the effect of these thoughts on people's behavior. We are looking at both scientific, philosophical, and psychological aspects, creating models to understand prosperity. Another important point is that our mind is made up of two parts, the thinker and the prover. The thinker thinks, and the prover proves. The thinker only thinks and nothing more, while the prover proves what the thinker thought. For example, if you think money is difficult, you are right. If you think it's easy, you are also right. The saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right either way, shows this great reality. The prover will confirm what the thinker thought, showing itself in the physical world, including in your bank account. Here's the big secret to prosperity: the quality is there. To explain better, imagine it's Friday night. You just got home from work, turned on the TV, and started watching the lottery results. By chance, you bought a ticket, took it out of your pocket, and now you're a winner. The number on TV is the same as your ticket, so you just won $1 million. Although you can't get the prize until Monday morning, you'll spend your weekend very happy and won't let sadness in, and you only have a paper in your pocket. You will say, "But it's a winning ticket. I have a winning ticket in my pocket." I know, but it's still a piece of paper, isn't it? But you have a wonderful weekend because on Monday you will turn that ticket into $1 million. Your wishes would come true if they were as certain as a winning ticket. But you can't hold on to that state, right? What a disappointment. Sometimes you get excited when you reach a goal, but you can't keep that feeling for long. Do you know what the secret to prosperity is? The secret to getting there is the quality of being there. What do you want? I want $1 million. If you had $1 million, how would you feel? You would say, I would feel very happy. So start feeling that way 24 hours a day, and it will show in your life. Unfortunately, you can't hold on to it because of your mental setup, and that's why you're listening to this with me. So keep in mind that in this model, the thinker thinks, the prover proves, and the mind has two parts, the thinker, which thinks, and the prover, which proves. The mind isn't your brain, it's part of your entire body. If I asked someone, where is your mind? They point to the brain. No, your mind is in your whole body, even in your big toe. If it gets cut, it will heal on its own. There is intelligence there, intelligence in your liver, kidneys, spleen, and so on. So, it's the body of the mind. This mind is connected with divine intelligence. Through this connection, you can show things from another plane in this plane, through the mind. So you have to learn to create from nothing. It's true. Create from nothing. Everything is created from nothing. A chair was created from nothing. Before chairs existed, people squatted until one day someone created a chair from nothing. So, the creative process has three principles: the principle of high analysis, the principle of suggestions, and the principle of goals. The high analysis principle states, what have I been thinking about that has made my life the way it is today? Do a self-analysis of how you've been thinking about money, and you'll look at your bank account and find the answer. What you have been thinking about money is shown there. The day you change your thinking, you change the amount of money there. Second, suggestions. You heard a series of negative suggestions from your parents, who, with good intentions, passed on the wrong things to you. For example, to be a doctor, you need to study medicine. To be a lawyer, you need to study law. And if you want to be a father or mother, what do you need? You just need to have relationships. No one pursues a course to become a father. No one takes a course to be a mother. No one has to take a course to be a successful parent. So parents make mistakes in raising children, and adults bring us a series of negative thoughts and behaviors. Until the age of 4 or 5, we hear more than 100,000 no's. For every compliment a 4-year-old gets, they get 9 scoldings. Look at the impact that has on our minds. We have many negative suggestions about money. To change this, you have to take these negative suggestions, turn them into positives, and speak, write, listen, and record with your voice until you change. Third, you have to understand the difference between goals and objectives. If I'm in New York and want to get to Chicago, I leave New York and go to Chicago. That's because I have a goal. Now, if I'm in New York and want to travel to the west, when I get to Chicago, there's still more west. When I get to Los Angeles, when I get to Sydney, Australia, there's more west. Since the earth is round, I'll return to New York. So when I'm traveling west, I have a purpose to travel west. When I'm going to Chicago, I have a goal. One thing to do is set a goal. Another thing to think about is having a meaningful purpose in life. What is your purpose in life? It's just a question you have to ask for 21 consecutive nights before going to sleep. What is my purpose in life? The moment you find your purpose in life, many miracles will happen. You will realize that you have more energy and more drive. Monday becomes the best day of the week. You no longer have financial problems in your physical world, and so on. You have to ask yourself, what is my purpose in life? The moment you find your purpose in life and align your goals with it, a lot changes in your life. So understanding this difference between goal and objective, purpose, or final goal makes a huge difference in your life. Now, I want to start discussing the laws of wealth with you, rules that should be taught in kindergarten. They work like gravity, they work anywhere in the world. Anywhere you apply the laws of wealth, like the law of earning, the law of spending, the law of saving, and the law of investing, these laws work anywhere. So let's start with the law of earning. All money is created by the human mind. In fact, I always say that financial problems are not solved with money, and those who hear it for the first time find it absurd. How can financial problems not be solved with money? That's exactly it. Financial problems are not solved with money. They are solved with imagination. Imagine your rent is due, but you don't have money to pay it. So you borrow money from your friend, and after that you do nothing for the whole month. Next month will come, and the rent will be due again. And there you are in debt for the rent again, and owing your friend. Both want to be paid. You see, nothing has been solved. Imagine your business is not doing well, and you need money, so you go to the bank, borrow, and do nothing else. When next month arrives, you will be in the same situation and still owe the bank capital and interest. So once again, it didn't help. Imagine that a country is going through financial problems, so that country borrows money from the IMF and does nothing else. Interestingly, every time that country borrows money from the IMF, it becomes more subject to imperialism. It's a new kind of colonization. It's not boats attacking our shores, it's economic colonization. Financial problems are solved with imagination. Everything that exists in the physical world, look around you and choose whatever you want. It can be that object in your hands. Yes, it can be your cell phone. The object you chose first passed through someone's mind. It first goes through the person's mind before showing up in the physical world. Creation happens twice, first in the mind and then in the physical world. Wealth is the same. Do you believe you can walk down the street and one day have wealth on your head? No, no, no. That's not how it's going to work. Wealth appears in the physical world after you imagine it. It's the law of earnings. The second law is the law of spending. The value of money is decided by the buyer and seller in each deal. This is important to understand. You're scrolling through your social media on a Sunday morning. There's an ad for a car you'd like to buy, but it's expensive. Go check it out, you never know. The person might sell it for a lower price. Call and ask for discounts. You don't know what will happen. The value of money is decided by the buyer and seller in each deal. Imagine you're navigating a very dangerous river, and suddenly your boat sinks. You have a $10,000 backpack that is all dry and safe. You meet a person who has lived in the countryside all their life and has never dealt with money before. This person has a canoe, and you want him to take you 10 kilometers downstream. You give him $10,000. He had never seen money in his life, let alone dollars. Do you think he will do it? No. Now, if you were in Miami and offered $10,000, the guy would take you 100 kilometers upstream. The value of money is decided by the buyer and seller in each deal, and those who become rich are not those who earn a lot, but those who know how to spend. If you earn $2,000 a month and spend $1,900, you will have $100 left at the end of the month. If you earn $10,000 a month and spend $11,000, you owe $1,000 at the end of each month. Interestingly, society applauds those who earn more and spend it all more than those who earn less but save money each month. So the situation is much worse. You have to learn to manage your expenses, and we'll discuss that a bit more later. The third law is the saving law. Do you know how to save? First, create the idea I call personal tithe. You have to take 10% of what you earn and save it for yourself. But you know what happens? At the end of the month, you pay everyone, not just yourself, who earned. Interesting, right? You are responsible for the dentist, the car, and the university. You pay for the kids' things. You just don't pay one person, yourself, who earned. This has to be reversed. You have to do the personal tithe. You may argue that you don't do the personal tithe because you already earn little. So if you already earn little, 10% is also little, it won't make a difference. Because some people live with much less than you earn. You can easily live on 90% of what you earn. When you start saving these 10%, magic happens in your life because you are sending the message to the subconscious. I live with abundance, have enough, and still have leftovers. Your subconscious begins to live in a prosperous environment, which is very important. If you're thinking, but I already earn and save 40%, great. But separate the 30% from the 10%, right? Because these 10% will create a money magnet. The term tithe is used in all religions worldwide and means 10%. So you have this 10% that you will save as a personal tithe. This money you can never use for anything that goes bad or gets stolen. You have to save it up to a certain point, and then you buy property, a lot, whatever. But you can't buy things that go bad because that will create a money magnet. Pay attention to this intriguing thing. If you open the faucet in your house, water comes out. Where does the water go? It reaches the river. The river flows into the sea. So where does the water go? The water goes where there is water. Love goes to those who have love. Hate goes to those who have hate. And where does the money go? Money goes to those who have money. Money doesn't go to the poor. Money goes to those who have money. You go to the bank and say to the manager, "Please, I'm in debt. Lend me money." He says no, no, and no, but if you go there and prove to him that you don't need money, he will want to offer you a loan because the bank lives off interest. Interestingly, credit is strange. Those who need it don't have it. Those who don't need it indeed do. So money attracts money, and like attracts like. If you start doing the personal tithe, you'll attract more money. That's why the tithe is important. This is a personal task you have to do. Now, let's talk about the law of investing. Investment is crucial. Most people don't know how to invest. Investment works like this: you make money work for you instead of you working for money. Investing has to be legal. You're not going to invest in something illegal, right? You have to invest in something legal with legality. You'll check if there's more or less profit, more or less security, and more or less liquidity. Profit, security, and liquidity are the three key points of investment. You're going to leave money there for the long run. You're not worried about liquidity, but you're concerned about security and profit. There's money for which you need more liquidity. Although the profit is lower, you can withdraw it at any time. Sometimes you put money in savings and can go there and withdraw the money whenever you want. However, working with the laws of wealth alone is not enough. Earning, spending, saving, and investing. It's very important. You have to be concerned about that, but only that is not enough. So now you also have to consider the psychological side of things. Psychological heavyweights, as I call them in psychology, interfere with your ability to earn money. For example, if you visit a city and have a negative experience there, you don't want to go back. Isn't that true? Parental disapproval is another important point. Many people feel embarrassed because they think they can't earn more than their parents. This does not need to surpass parents. Even if unconscious, it affects about 30% of people worldwide and acts as a brake on the wheel of abundance. The parent disapproval syndrome can be an obstacle to financial growth. Working on this psychological issue is crucial before applying the laws of wealth, such as earning, spending, saving, and investing. Finally, honesty is valued. Often, people prefer to be poor and honest rather than rich and dishonest. Integrity should guide financial choices to ensure a balanced and prosperous life. You have to reverse this in your head, and the feeling of imminent death is when you have that feeling that you are going to die at any moment. So the person who has suffered at birth, when they breathe for the first time, breathes because birth here outside the womb begins with inspiration and life ends with an expiration. That's why when someone dies, it is said, "he expired," as they stop breathing. So when you breathe in the feeling of pain, it is a sensation of death that gets encoded in your brain. So we must constantly feel like we'll live forever. How many people do you know at 65 years old who could be useful to humanity but are programming themselves to die? In fact, people who live a long time, over 90 or 100 years, are those who constantly face challenges, create new things in their minds, and set new goals as if they were going to live forever. This is very important. The other thing I want to discuss from a psychological standpoint is this excuse for karma. I'm not here to discuss whether karma exists or not. I'm here to say the following. Some people want to use the excuse that they can't earn money in this life because of their karma. I would like to say the following. If your past life were more important than this one, you would be living the past life and not this one. Oh, I think more important than karma, more important than everything, is our free will. We have it at every moment. You have the right to move forward or backward. This free will is a quality that not even God takes away from us because He personally gave it to us. I would like to discuss with you some popular myths. When I say myth, it means there's a lack of cause and effect. There is a difference between chance, which means by accident, and cause and effect, which have a cause. People confuse one with the other. For example, some people think that to earn money you have to work a lot, which is not true. You have to work smartly. Once, a person became a millionaire at the age of 65, and the person interviewing him for television asked him, "Why did you become a millionaire at 65? Why not at 55? Why not at 45? And he replied, I was so busy working that I didn't have time to make money. Look at that in-depth answer. Sometimes the person is so obsessed with what he is doing day to day that he doesn't have time to step back and see things from a broader perspective. I don't know if this is your case, but sometimes it's important to take a vacation. Sometimes you come back from vacation refreshed and with new ideas, so you're working hard but not getting anywhere. You've got to check on that. The other myth is that I can't earn money and have fun at the same time. The person says, during the week I bring home the bacon. Now, on Saturday and Sunday I do what I want. My friend, let me tell you something. I know poor doctors, poor lawyers, rich lawyers, poor accountants, rich accountants, poor artists, rich artists, poor journalists, and rich journalists. In any job, you will find poor people and rich people. So don't blame the job. You can manufacture needles and become a millionaire. It's not the job that will determine it. That's how you're going to do it. I want to tell you the following. In general, the richest people in the world were not scholars. Thomas Edison had 3 months of formal education. Henry Ford had only 2 years of elementary school. Bill Gates, who holds 3 world records, accumulated $100 billion, the highest in human history, did it in a record 12-year period, and was the youngest, richest man in the world at 32 years old. He dropped out of college to start Microsoft, so the excuse that you didn't have a college degree doesn't justify anything. On the contrary, people who are overly intellectual often end up unable to pay the bills at the end of the month. If you have a relative, an acquaintance, or a neighbor who is very intellectual, the family ends up pooling money to help him pay the bills at the end of the month. So I'm not encouraging you to stop studying. I'm saying that studying alone is not enough. You don't make a cake with just flour, butter, or eggs. They are ingredients. Studying knowledge can be an ingredient, but alone it doesn't solve anything. If that were the case, all intellectuals would be millionaires, wouldn't they? So, this is a popular myth. Another popular myth that people say is that there isn't enough money for everyone. The financial market is only growing. Today, humanity's purchasing power is 4 times that of $10 to $15. Look, how would you explain that? In the cave era, what was the world's wealth? Virtually nothing. Now, you take the current gross domestic product worldwide, which is huge, and it was created by the human mind. In Romania, for example, it is a paradise of opportunities. Every foreigner living in Romania leaves with the following idea: Romania is a paradise of opportunities. Only Romanians can't see that. Like Romania, I believe that the country where you live also has many opportunities. First, humans have nothing to do with geography, nothing to do with the land. It has to do with what enters your left ear and your right ear. So it is important for you to understand all of this, and it is essential to understand the idea of the money magnet. This idea we passed on to you is the personal tithe. So look, we've discussed many ideas here. I recommend you listen to this video several times because the more you listen, the more it will be embedded in your subconscious. We started talking about prosperity, health, wealth, and family. We talked about financial success, awareness of prosperity at financial levels, survival, or trading 6 for half a dozen. The debate about the mattress is about financial freedom. We talked about the wheel of abundance, about asking, receiving, declaring, and thanking. We addressed aspects of science, philosophy, and psychology. We presented the mind's thinker and prover models. The thinker thinks, and the prover proves. With thinker thinking, if you change your thinking, you change your life. We showed the creative process where you become a co-creator of your existence, where you have the principles of high analysis, the principle of suggestion, and the principle of goals. We differentiated between an objective and a goal. The objective refers to what you intend to achieve, whereas the goal refers to the specific activities that will lead you to the objective. You only fulfill your purpose when you die. If you are alive, it means you are still working toward your purpose. Then we worked with the laws of wealth, the law of earning, the law of spending, the law of saving, and the law of investing. All wealth is created by the human mind. You don't walk down the street and wealth falls on your head. If you want to get rich, you have to learn to create. The value of money is decided by the buyer and seller in each deal. We demonstrated that what is valuable to one is valuable to another. We talked about the importance of the economy. If you know how to save, set aside 10% and work with generosity, work with charity. We talked about the importance of putting money to work for you instead of working for money. We talked about the importance of liquidity, profit, security, and of course, the legality of your investment. We addressed the psychological aspects of prosperity. Working hard is not a cause of wealth. I'm not telling you not to work, but it happens that working alone is not enough. You should look for something you like and turn your hobby into a job. Your skill in action is more important than your education. But before you study a lot, focus on the book. You have to put things into practice, and you have your education. Having a higher level will not necessarily determine whether you will earn more or less money. The universe is a potentially abundant place. For us to finish, pay attention to what I'm going to say now. Talking to cemetery residents showed that life was short, and they didn't have enough time. So rethink, my friend. You were born to grow, so don't let anything or anyone stop your life process. You've been listening to this video all along. Do you want to practice or just listen? I recommend that you listen to it at least 7 times to shake up your psychological setup, and after learning everything that was said, put it into practice. It's not just about listening to yourself. You have to put it into practice. Only when it moves from thought to action will this knowledge be useful. If you watch this whole video and commented like this, I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I'll give you a little heart. Well, for today, that was my contribution. I hope new paths open up in front of you, that the wind blows gently on your back, that the sun shines softly on your face, that the rain falls gently on your fields, and that until we meet again, may God hold you in the palms of His hands. Another video from our channel now appear on your screen. Don't leave now. Go check it out. I'm sure it will add a lot of value to your life. A big hug, and see you soon.